Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to episode 1 of Overrated Autos, where we'll be discussing the most overrated automobiles on the planet. And as of right now, there's one that significantly takes the top step, and that is the new gen mark for Supra, i.e. the 992 GT3 RS. Well, first off, guys, this is in fact a very good car, and especially with the track weaponry that you get in this car and the fact that it's road legal, it is completely mental. I mean, this thing can literally generate 860 kilograms of downforce, which is 60 kilograms more than what the McLaren Senna generates, i.e. 800 kilograms, and you literally get F1 derived tech, i.e. the drag reduction system. But other than the fact that this thing's only gimmick is its aero, the F1 style system, nothing else is of big significance. It's literally just a 911 with a souped up, aerodynamically enhanced, track focused body kit with a big wing with DRS on it. Other than that, there's literally nothing much to it. It's got the same 4 liter NA flat 6, 525 PS, which for a car of this nature, if you ask me, is not as high powered as I would have liked it to be, but nevertheless, it is still decently powered. But not just that, the fact that this thing has a starting price of $241,300, so let's just run it off to $250K to acquire one of these, and even that is a complete heinous mess. I talked about that in detail as well as its market values in a completely different video, so feel free to check that out. But nevertheless, the fact that you pay around $250K for this, you would expect as much carbon as possible. But given the fact that this thing is a literal road-going thoroughbred track weapon, you don't get that even with the Weissach package, the front splitter, the front bonnet inserts, the louvres, the vents ahead and behind the front wheels, the roof rail, air blockers, the side skirts, the vents ahead of the rear wheels, the end plates of that massive wing, and of course the rear diffuser and the rear bumper are all made of plastic. I mean, for a car of this nature, carbon is most likely, no, it is definitely a necessity, and of course it makes it easier to replace because of course if it's carbon, it's not going to be a small dime out of your pocket. But nevertheless, if you are getting plastic for a $250,000 track weapon, well, if you ask me, that just shows how cheap it is. But of course, you can get the complete carbon conversion by 9 Design, but that will set you back another $60,000 US, which is still quite a lot. I mean, $250K, you're already all into that for just the car, and another additional $60K. Well, I don't know about that, but nevertheless, other than the fact of that, you don't even literally get carbon for a car of this nature. And not just that, in terms of the market prices for this, a proper one, be it even used one or even with a delivery mile spec one, these things are selling for over $450,000 to as much as $530,000 for one of these, literally more than twice the price, which is completely bonkers and ludicrous. I mean, it is completely a highway robbery if you ask me. I mean, $500K for this? No, you are literally just getting a 525 PS Porsche with a souped up body kit and DRS, and people just over here are thinking it's the greatest car ever made. In terms of GT3 RS, guys, let's be honest, this is not the best of all. If you ask me, the peak GT3 RS generation was the 997, especially for me, the 997.2 GT3 RS 4.0, i.e. of which only 600 were made, takes the top step, and that is my dream GT3 RS. Well, the 997 had the best soul, but then afterwards, even the 991.2, I have seen one IRL, and that is incredibly beautiful, a timeless design. But the new 992 GT3 RS, let's be honest, guys, it's a good car and its track weaponry is more than impressive. It's phenomenal. But the Porsche fanboys are the one who keep ruining it, who literally keep overhyping it and it is, if you ask me, in a way, a completely overdone car. It's literally just a 911 with a souped up body kit on it that enhances aero, gives it a lot of track weaponry. Other than that, it's literally got nothing to it. The only big gimmick is, of course, the aero and that big wing at the back, and of course the F1 tech. But seriously, guys, just think about it. It is not a proper high-class hypercar or even a proper high-class track weapon, because of course, in terms of aero and track weaponry, this thing is on par with the likes of the McLaren Senna. And you put both of these together, although there may be a significant difference in terms of power and price, they will battle it out quite well. But of course, the Senna will just eat this up and spit this out twice on. But nonetheless, it's just to give you a complete comparison as to how you literally don't even get as much carbon as you need for a car of this nature. Of course, it's road legal, which is awesome, but where is the carbon? Seriously, I mean, $250K for this and you're not getting carbon? Nah, I would rather not take it. And in terms of how stringent Porsche is on who even gets an allocation for one of these, that is a whole nother story, and I made a completely different video on that as well, so feel free to check that out. But nevertheless, guys, I mean, this thing is not at all, it is of course a good car, but the Porsche fanboys have overhyped it, and if you ask me, once again, it is a completely overdone car. I mean, it's literally just a 911 with a souped up track focus kit on it, that big wing and the drag reduction system, and people are out here thinking it's the best car ever made. Seriously, pump your brakes, guys. I mean, it's a good car, but it does not completely take to the top of the step like that. I mean, of course, in terms of power, just look at it, 525 PS is not a lot, and for a car of this nature that literally generates 860 kilograms of downforce and it has DRS, well, you would expect at least over 600 to 700 horsepower, right? The GT2 RS puts that out, and that thing generates more than 700 kilograms of downforce. Not as much as this, but that thing is, if you ask me, one of the most impressive and one of the best Porsches ever built, the 991 generation, of course. But nevertheless, guys, an overhyped, complete shit box, if you ask me. I mean, in terms of the fact that you are paying $250,000 and you don't get carbon, that's one. And in terms of the community, to be exact, as I said, it's not a problem with the car, it's the main problem of the people who are literally thinking of it and regarding it as some high class hypercar or something that could even compete with the level of hypercar. So, well, I'm here to tell you, it does not come close by any margin. Of course, in terms of supercars, it is extremely well built, very phenomenal, and especially the fact that it has this much weaponry for a road going car. I am all for it, but I would not take this. I would rather get myself a 997.2 GT3 RS 4.0. That is the GOAT if you ask me. But nevertheless, guys, what do you think? I present to you the new gen Mark IV Supra, i.e. the 992 GT3 RS. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Remember to hit that sub button and click the bell to ensure you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See ya. Porsche fanboys, wake up to reality.